Why is Seattle media helping activists stop ICE raids? Welcome to the Jason Rantz Show, presented by None Better Tax Resolution. Left-wing media, including the Seattle Times and Tri-City Herald, they're playing public relations firm for radical open borders groups. It appears to be interested in helping activist groups directly or indirectly disrupt immigration and custom enforcement raids, all against dangerous, criminal, illegal immigrants. Here's how. The Seattle Times published this Tri-City Herald piece that reads like an activist manual for obstructing ICE operations here in Washington state. Rather than expose the serious crimes committed by illegal immigrants who have repeatedly defied U.S. law, the papers amplify the voices of those working to make ICE's job harder. Washingtonians and ICE agents, frankly, deserve better. Dangerous illegal immigrants face ICE raids, dangerous ones. Why is the left-wing media protecting them? For years, the progressive narrative has painted ICE as the villain, conveniently ignoring the violent and repeat offenders that the agency is removing from our communities. And yet, while activists claim they're standing up for the vulnerable, they're really protecting criminals who have no right to be here in the first place. Now, among the recent arrests that ICE made here in Washington was a 47-year-old Mexican citizen charged with lewd acts with a child under 14 and sexual battery. Another was a 51-year-old Guatemalan convicted of disorderly conduct and assault. He'd been previously removed from this country twice. These aren't innocent people simply looking for a better life. These are repeat offenders with serious criminal histories who pose a direct threat to public safety. But that doesn't matter to groups like the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, WAISN, which the Seattle Times and Tri-City Herald give an uncritical platform to. WAISN, along with other radical groups, provide step-by-step instructions on how to interfere with ICE operations, including filming officers and instructing people not to cooperate. The message? Helping deport criminals is bad. Helping criminals avoid consequences is good. Hey, members should run for Congress, right? They can be Democrats. They'd fit right in. Now, this isn't journalism. It's reprinting press releases. What's worse is that the media isn't just reporting on these activists, it's amplifying and legitimizing them. The article, for example, tells bystanders to actively question ICE agents in the middle of a raid, while taking notes on the agents' identities and the cars with license plates that they're driving. It says, if officers get too close to you, state that you have stepped back and repeat you are exercising your right to record. You want to remain calm, but speak firmly. Now, nowhere in these articles is there any acknowledgement about ICE's work actually protecting law-abiding people, including legal immigrants. Nowhere is there an admission that the people ICE arrest often have long rap sheets, multiple deportations, and a demonstrated disregard for the law. Instead, the paper plays into this narrative that immigration enforcement is inherently cruel. Again, it's not journalism, it's activism. These aren't news reports, they're press releases. The media's role should be to inform the public, not serve as a propaganda arm for groups that want to abolish immigration enforcement altogether. And yet publications like the Seattle Times refuse to challenge the narrative, never asking why these activist groups are so determined to shield criminals. We should be asking, why are these groups comfortable allowing repeat DUI offenders or sex offenders, domestic abusers to stay in our communities? Why does left-wing media refuse to acknowledge the real victims here? The families that suffer when criminals are allowed to remain on our streets. ICE isn't the enemy, the criminals are. But in the twisted worldview of the radical left, enforcing the law is somehow more offensive than breaking it. I sat down with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution.
Tell me a little bit about the Fresh Start program, because again, based on how it's promoted, it seems really, really simple.
This Fresh Start program and that phrase has been around for many, many, many years now. But it's a great marketing tool to say, hey, fresh start. And in a way, for those that qualify, it is. What it essentially is an offer in compromise. And to get that, there's two main criteria a person must qualify for. One, they must have limited or no equity in assets. So generally, anyone in the Puget Sound region that owns a home and has for several years, they're going to have a lot of equity. They won't qualify. And the other is an income level. And that all depends upon your family size about how much income that could be. But both of those standards need to be met to qualify. Most people do not.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS solutions. 425 947-1967 or Google NUNN, none better, tax resolution. Did you like that commentary? Make sure you subscribe to the podcast of The Jason Rantz Show. Get it at KTTH.com or wherever it is you download your podcasts.